episode of How Do We Human, the podcast where we overanalyze all of the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
Whoosh. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
Whoosh. Today we are talking about mail. I realized after I did it, that's kind of an email thing, and we already did an episode about email, so...
Yeah.
Honestly, that was probably the intro we did then. It's too late. It's on vinyl. We record straight to wax.
It's on, yeah, we go straight to vinyl.
Couple of audio files.
Yeah.
But before we get into the mail, U.S. Postal Service, packages being delivered, etc., I got a package to deliver to you. It's a big old package.
Hell yeah, come on
in plastic. And when you open it, there's a tiny little note card in that giant box, and it says, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I don't know if you've heard, but the price of eggs has been a little high. And so I've been looking at maybe other breakfast options, so I'm not buying eggs all the time.
Totally.
I do have, actually, I have some more to say about the price of eggs and who's talking about the price of eggs and who's pretending like they never talked about the price of eggs. But I was at the grocery store. It is an off-mic discussion. It's too personal. I don't want our listeners to know that I think certain politicians and people who idolize them are hypocrites. But I was at the grocery store. I'm walking down the cereal aisle. My go-to cereals at this point in my life, are O's, Crispix, and Honey Nut Cheerios.
Damn. Crispix, interesting.
But I was going through the aisle and I get to the end and there's a bunch of healthy cereals. I'm like, you know what? Maybe healthy cereals would be a good idea for me.
Yeah.
And I see one there called Catalina Crunch. And I'm like, okay, let's see about Catalina Crunch. It's from expensive as hell, so it must be good. So I get their blueberry and flakes. I don't know what they're like little square cereal pieces, and then they have blueberries in there as well.
Let's take a look at these.
And it's a bag that costs $8.99. You might be thinking that must be a huge bag. No, it's like a bowl and a third of cereal. So I made the choice this morning. I could either make a big bowl or I could have two small bowls at some point during the week.
Okay, not to interrupt. I had to look these up. I didn't realize Catalina Crunch also makes snack mixes. I thought these were all cereals, and I got to Creamy Ranch. I was like, no.
Yeah, Creamy Ranch. Put some milk in there. But yeah, so I get their blueberry cereal. I make a big bowl because I don't want to have two small bowls at some point. So I just make a big one. And this cereal sucks. We did our cereal bracket many years ago.
Brutal. This
would lose in the first round. This is rough stuff.
Is that better or worse though? Because if it ruled, now I'm spending $9 for a bowl for a large bowl of cereal.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, especially when eggs are like the same price. I could have 6 egg sandwiches like I like to make in the morning instead of one giant bowl of cereal. But yeah, it was a real bummer because when you see something healthy that looks good, you're like, fantastic. I'm gonna get to eat good, and that'll be good for me. And then you eat it, and it's like flavorless, way too crunchy, and just all around a bad time.
Yeah, I've had that with some shredded wheat cereals. That sounds like a good idea. And it was like, this
sucks.
I love me
Where's the
some grape
sugar?
nuts though. Puffins.
Yeah,
I don't know how actually healthy puffins are, but they're really fucking good.
yeah. It's like Raisin Bran. I like Raisin Bran, but
Yeah, I accept it.
this Catalina Crunch is not for me.
That sucks. I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much, Evan.
Yeah.
How you doing?
And that is for me, that question?
That is for you. I
Okay.
accept that is for you.
I'm doing okay. On a similar no, I've got a snacky issue. I'm. They're all sweet teeth now. Call me sweet teeth
Yeah.
because they're all sweet teeth, and I go crazy on some ice cream and bullshit, and I'm, expanding
Yeah.
at all moments. Doctor's not concerned, but I don't love watching it happen. This isn't my story, by the way, so
Great.
I'll make this quick.
Well, so what's your snack issue? Because now I'm
It's
intrigued.
not an
You've
issue.
teased me. Okay.
It's not an issue. The issue is that I snack on sweet things too much.
Okay.
But I started at a grocery outlet. They've got cheap full size boxes of Fig Newtons, which I used to have as a kid, and
Mm.
I never liked that. And then we got like the raspberry Newtons. I'm like, yeah, these rule. Get the actual figs out of here. I love them. They're so good. The Fig Newton, and it's sugary, but otherwise they're not terrible for you. I looked it up. I'm like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
have to ride
I
that
don't know if you're supposed
line.
to eat them a box at a time. Like I, I might.
Yeah. That's how I did the first one I bought. I pretty much ate it all in one day. They're
Yeah.
good.
They are good. I know what you mean though about like as a child being like, no, this is disgusting.
Why'd you do this to me? You
But every
tricked me.
now and then, I feel like when I was a kid, we would get a thing of Fig Newtons, or like they'd be at a friend's house or something,
Yeah.
and I'd have some and be like, these are delicious. And then we'd go out and buy another package and we'd get them and I'd be like, these are gross. And so I don't know what the deal with the Fig Newtons quality control is, because I feel like I've had absolutely delicious ones and some that are kind of gross.
Well,
And
I'm
I
I'm
don't know.
eating the ones that the Fig Newton Corporation decided they didn't want to sell at regular stores anymore, so they got sent to grocery outlet, and they're pretty good. That is
Is
a
that how grocery outlet works? Is it's just like
yeah,
the
it's like Ross.
foods the foods corporations don't want you to have?
Grocery outlets should lean into clickbait. That's maybe the one area I'd be happy. Cinnamon Toast Crunch doesn't want you to know this one trick. They make bacon, which they do. I haven't bought it, but it's there at grocery outlet.
Man, if I remembered those Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercials from when we were children, that'd be such a great little segue into a little joke,
Ooh.
combining their commercials. Because wasn't their whole thing, wasn't Cinnamon Toast Crunch's ad campaign essentially clickbait of like, adults can't see that the cinnamon's good or whatever? Like, I don't remember what it was.
Something like that. A lot of
Yeah.
cereal commercials were that at the time. Like,
Yeah.
don't tell your parents,
Don't tell your
to
parents.
don't tell your kids this is healthy. I've decided in taking this long talking about snacks and Fig Newton and stuff, my how you doing already had a little bit to do about the mail, so I will jump into that in a sec. I try to keep these at 10
Fantastic.
minutes, and I've got 20 seconds, so I'm going to finish this thought,
Great.
which I can't remember, so that's going to take 20 seconds to remember. Now I have 12 seconds. Fuck! What were we just talking about?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch
Cinnamon Toast.
commercials.
Oh, grocery. Oh, yeah. I think I was just good. Oh no, I remember. So yeah, but yes, to answer your question, grocery outlet is like Oreos makes a billion different flavors, and if they make
Right.
one that just sells like a fucking anchor, Because
You
it's
get to try it out.
yeah, it's like Bailey's and gin, Oreos, yum. Doesn't sell like they thought. They take all the stock that they had. Grocery outlet
Gotcha.
buys up that stock and sells it to you for a bargain. They do that on everything except the stuff like eggs and milk and stuff like that,
Sure.
because that's. Aren't you glad to know that there isn't like milk that people decide, yeah, we shouldn't sell this milk?
Yeah, this milk's pretty bad, but you can have it for a
You
bargain.
can have it. What I was going to say is, I don't know if it's a me thing or a kid thing, like a me as a kid, or just all kids, or a lot of kids just kind of do this. But like, I feel like Fig Newton would be a thing that, like, say my grandma would have them and just give me a couple on a plate.
Yeah.
I'd eat them, and I'm just like, these are so good, Grandma. Grandma, what you got here? What you got here, Grandma?
What you got here, Grandma?
What you got here? What you got here is a masterpiece in my mouth. What is it, grandmother? And she says, it's figs. And then I go, Grandma, that's disgusting. Why would you feed me figs? It's like a mental game, but knowing figs are something I'm unfamiliar with and have a bunch of weird little seeds in them
Yeah.
would have thrown me off and been like, no,
I
I don't want that anymore.
I feel like I just thought that they were called Fig Newtons and didn't even know that figs were like
Same.
a thing you could eat. I think that I just thought that was like the brand name.
Yeah.
And
Fig
that like it
Newtons.
was maybe I thought it was like Isaac Newton's brother. and he made little pastries.
Come here, Fig. I just discovered something. Not now.
Not now. Have you seen my apple?
He's sitting against a different tree and a fig fell on his head. Caused irreparable brain damage. But he made a nice snack. Listen, and maybe this is a weird segue. I'm surprised because I've had this a care package or two sent to me that you can just mail food to people.
Yeah, have we transitioned into the main
That
topic?
was as good a segue as I've got.
It was pretty good. You can't, you can't just mail food to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you mail like produce really, but I mean, I've definitely had, when I was in college, I would get care packages with candies and snacks and stuff. And hey, that's all I want in the mail. Stop sending me bills. Send me chips.
I remember when my friend Robbie and I first moved to Seattle. We were broke as hell. We moved there and didn't have jobs. And so it was like, let's find jobs within the next month or we're going home, I guess. And so we didn't have shit. We were eating like just like bologna on bread sandwiches. Like that's what we could afford. And his mom, through the mail, sent us a big old block of cheese. It's like, oh my god, we're in the money. One of my favorite mail memories.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't, I don't know that I've thought about mail memories as preparation for this podcast. So it is fun before you really had like a lot of tracking information. It was fun to just open the mail and be like, oh yeah, this thing I ordered arrived today, or this thing I knew kind of had been sent maybe, and now it's here. Like, that stuff's fun.
That is it's probably just a grass is greener on the other side situation. But like, there is something so magical about being able to. I just had to buy something for work, and it was like, download this app to track it. And I don't know, that's fascinating to me. Like, so you can like literally watch it on the truck, like the Domino's pizza tracker.
Sure.
Arguably too much information, but it's like also really nice to know like exactly when it's going to show up. But you do 100% lose that magic of just like checking the mail. My mind immediately goes to being a kid, ordering Star Wars Insider magazine, getting a subscription, which at the time, signing up for a subscription, it's like you're sending your subscription form in the mail. They get it, and then you'll get your first issue 8 to 10 weeks later.
Yeah.
As a kid,
Yeah.
waiting for Star Wars news. Brutal, but I checked the mail every day in
That's
between that,
true. I
hoping to
had
see an issue.
a year maybe of Nintendo Power
Good
magazine.
shit. Never had a subscription. I never had a Nintendo.
I don't know if I had a subscription or not, but maybe a year of like Nickelodeon magazine. I think I also maybe had the like at some point the like Zoo Lights or
Yeah.
whatever that animal magazine was called.
I think Zoo
Um
Life.
yeah, something like that.
Just get a big old thing with a zebra on it. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's my
You'd be
shit.
like, hell yeah, dude. Um yeah, I think like I'd forgotten about getting magazines in the mail, but that was exciting as a kid. You do mention though the grass is greener on the other side and the tracker that
Hmm.
has the exact thing. I do appreciate the tracker sometimes, and I wish that certain things that I had delivered had that specificity also. Like
Yeah.
when I get the HelloFresh meals, it's a crapshoot. They're
Yeah.
just coming sometime that day. And sometimes you get the like the notification from them or from Amazon that's like, oh, your stop is or you're 10 stops away. And then you look at the tracker or whatever, but it's like you don't really know where it is. It's just like, hey, we're gonna make 9 more stops, and then it's gonna be you. But where
No,
are those 9 stops in the entire city of Los Angeles? None of your business.
that is a perfect example of where knowing something like that, it's not enough information because I'll see like, oh, UPS is 10 blocks away. In my mind, I'm like, cool, doesn't take long to drive 10 blocks. But they have to
Right.
make deliveries, and they have to make a lot of deliveries between those 10 blocks. So everyone's ordering too much shit. So yeah, that 10 blocks, that could be like 2 hours. And
Yeah.
I have mentioned on a previous episode, I am not opposed to walking outside, finding that truck, just going, they let you do it, to quote our president.
Yeah.
You just walk up there, show them your ID, and they'll give you your package. And I've done it when desperate or desperately bored.
Yeah. I feel like they used to kind of show on the map where your truck kind of was.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've taken that feature away, probably because of people like you ruining it for the rest of us.
Honestly, every time I've done it, the driver seems like, hell yeah, get this
Hell yeah,
one less
one
stop
less
I have to
stop to
make.
make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the reason that I brought up this topic to you, Evan, is as the United States Postal Service, like many other federal agencies, seems to be going through a big round of
Oh
layoffs.
yeah.
I kind of wonder if my mail carrier is part of that because we have not received mail
Oh
since
no.
March 25th, which is a little over a week ago. And the post office in our neighborhood was, I don't know if it was destroyed in the fires or just
Mm,
took some
affected.
damage in the fires. Um, but they had relocated all of the mail services for our area to a nearby post office, and we'd been receiving mail since the fires. Um, and then it just seems like it's stopped.
Hmm.
And it's not that we don't have anything coming in the mail, because I certainly have a package that was ordered on Amazon but shipped through the United States Postal Service. It was supposed
Mm,
to arrive on Sunday. We are recording this on Wednesday for anyone curious, the time frame.
that's no
Um
bueno.
but because it's through Amazon, I'm still getting the Amazon like updates of like your package is out for delivery on Sunday. at like 8 in the morning or something. Um, got the your packages out for delivery, and by like 8:20, received a thing that was like a delivery attempted, but couldn't get to your
The
front
worst.
door.
Ugh.
And you've been to my place, and you know that
Hmm.
the front door is easily accessible.
It is, yeah.
But I was out of town Sunday morning, and so I was like, you know what? Maybe the street was closed as they do more fire cleanup, whatever.
Yeah.
I got the thing that says that they will try again, and so the next day, on Monday, I'm home, and I
You're
get
ready.
the update that's like it's out for delivery, and then another like delivery attempted, but front door or gate or driveway was not accessible. And it's like I was
Mm.
here. I
Where were you?
I know that, yeah, there's no like little sticker anywhere on the property that's like delivery attempted, we'll be back.
Like, I don't
And so
believe
I
you.
think that it never really left the post office.
Mm.
But because my post office is not open, I'm not entirely sure which post office this package is at. It
They need to
still
make
says
this
that they'll
easier.
try again, but they have not tried again in the last 2 days. And
Mm.
there's a little thing on Amazon that's like contact USPS. It's like I really don't want to do that, because the last thing I want to do is call a business and be like, "Where's my package?"
Yeah, there's no way to not sound annoying
Yeah.
and whiny. Because explaining it more makes you sound whinier. Like, I've been
Yes.
waiting. It was supposed to be here Sunday.
It says that my house is not accessible, but I know it is. Like, that's so whiny. But
Yeah, we
also,
don't want to be that.
I want my piece of furniture that I ordered. So
Justified Whining. Maybe that's the new name of the podcast.
I don't hate it.
Justified Whining. Quality. We love it. No,
Have
it's a bad
you,
feeling.
especially with where you live now in the mountains, have you had a
Yeah.
lot of mail delivery issues?
Surprisingly, no. Honestly, it's been better. Well, I live right next to the post office. It's a tiny post office. The people that work, I don't know if you call the post office workers, the postal work. I don't know if those postal workers. I feel
I
like
believe
postal
so.
worker suggests you're out, but they're not. They're at the office, handing me packages, and they like me. They're very nice, and they know me. Everybody knows my name. They don't know my name,
Wow.
but they know my PO box number. So yeah, for the most part, it's been easy. The big trouble we've had, which you can also vouch for, having been to my front door,
Yeah,
it's a long driveway. So generally, and it's like a sudden turn into the driveway.
it is.
Generally, a truck's not going to make that, so they'll park at the bottom. A lot of drivers don't want to walk all the way up that driveway in the middle of a work day. That's a fucking slog.
Yeah,
Most will get it to the bottom of our stairs, go up the driveway, but not go up the stairs. That's fine. A
fair.
lot will make it all the way up. But there have been a couple, and it's always when it's like something expensive, something someone might want to steal. Not that I have a lot of money. I'm just like expensive for me.
Right.
That they just don't make it anywhere. And it'll be like half, a quarter of the way up the driveway, maybe tossed to the side, like in the trees. Like, no one will see it here. So that I consider an issue. But
Yeah.
no, otherwise things have been pretty chill. Stuff gets here surprisingly fast. I don't know if
Okay,
there's
that's good.
yeah, just but there are a lot of post offices around here. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but maybe we take it seriously.
Yeah, I that's good to hear. I do the other problem with calling the USPS and not only whining about the package, but like the fact that we haven't gotten any mail in the last week.
That's Questionable.
also makes me wonder, like, what is going on?
Seriously.
My wife has like like an account with the postal service, so they're supposed to like send a photo of what is coming in the mail, even if it's like ads and stuff,
Hmm.
just
Interesting.
so that you know what to expect. All of the surprise is gone.
Yeah.
And sometimes they take a photo of something you're supposed to get and then you just don't get it. So it's not a foolproof system, but I don't think that she's even received any like photos of incoming mail, which is also weird because like I know we get coupons and stuff in the mail from local businesses, so I just don't know if like the mail delivery has paused around here and none of us know about it or what's
Weird.
going on.
I can write you a letter. See if
Yeah,
that
well, do a little
arrives.
test. It's just
Maybe.
a giant envelope, and inside a tiny little thing that says test.
Test. I'm happy to do that if required.
You know what? If nothing else, that sounds like a fun little thing for the podcast.
See how that goes. Related, and what I was going to talk about in my How You Doing. So this will start off seeming unrelated, but relate directly to what I was just talking about. So 3 or 4, maybe even 5, who could say, years ago, but during the time of this podcast,
Okay.
um, I might have told this general story, um, but my work laptop, I was remote. I was working from Washington. It was near the holidays, I believe, and my computer just was like shitting itself. It just completely was dead for some reason. I couldn't figure it out. The screen would go black, and I couldn't get it to turn back on for like an hour. And I reached out to IT, and it was the most contentious argument I've ever had with someone because they're like, "Oh, and where did this happen? At on company Wi-Fi?" I'm like, "No, oh, sorry, we can't do anything. Maybe bring it into an office and have it happen again." I'm like, "I can't force it to happen." But isn't the fact that this is happening enough to make you want to look into it at all? And so I was just like, I work, like, we just went through a pandemic. I work 100% from home. Are you telling me that without going out and replicating this issue on company Wi Fi, there's nothing you'll do about it? And he was like, correct. I was like, awesome. Thanks. And so because of that, I've just been like, fuck IT, fuck all of this. Like, I will use this computer until it dies completely. And it's been years. I'm still using this computer. And it's now, I had to do an in-person shoot and needed to use my computer for it. And it like couldn't handle. I just needed to like run a video feed through Zoom, and my computer was doing fine for like an hour, and then just cut to black. Could not get it to turn back on. And lately, it's just like if I'm not on the charger, if I unplug it, it'll die within like 2 minutes, no matter how much
Yeah, I've had
battery
that.
life it has. It's done. It's on its
Yeah.
last legs. And so I was like, fuck. I think because I think I needed it to happen in front of a lot of people for me to be like, okay, I definitely need to do
Yeah,
something
you
about
needed the
this.
embarrassment level.
I reached out, submitted a ticket. Now, my company was bought by a larger company all years ago. So it's a different IT group now, which I wish I had just considered that in the first place and gone like, oh yeah, let's try. I submitted a ticket. I got a response within 5 minutes, just asking like, "Hey, what's your phone number so you could share your password to the thing? What's the this? What's the that? What's your computer's serial number?" Answer those questions. New MacBook Pro will be there on Friday.
Nice.
It's Wednesday today.
Oh.
That's madness. No, I mean that's so
Oh,
fucking
oh.
fast.
I
Like,
thought sorry, I thought that it It was the
Oh, no,
Wednesday
no, no,
after
no.
they. I
It's
thought it
not the
was a
following
delay.
Wednesday.
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha.
No, I'm baffled by this after being like rudely told fuck off.
Yeah,
They just trusted what I said
yeah,
and are giving me a new computer. Amazing.
yeah. It's. I have found it kind of rare for IT to like
Give a shit.
be helpful. Yeah. I mean, like, I know that there's IT has to deal with a lot of like terrible,
Totally.
incompetent people and problems.
Yes.
But uh at our work, the IT guy seems to generally ask, like, if we're like, hey, there's a problem, like this isn't functioning right.
Yeah.
It feels like the IT guy is generally like, okay, so what should I do to fix it? It's like, I don't know, man. It's your job.
I don't
um,
know. What should you do to fix it?
yeah.
You tell
Um,
me.
if I knew what to do, I'd probably have just done it.
Easily.
And I get that there are people who like are like, oh, this thing doesn't turn on and it's because it's not
Mhm.
plugged in. Like, I get that they have to deal with like that type of stuff all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it's I feel like most of the IT stuff I've or the IT communications I've had have been like either so annoyed that they
Yeah.
need to come help or are like, well, yeah, tell me what you want me to do. It's like, I want you to fix it. I don't know how. I want you to fix it.
It's, yeah. I mean, hey, IT. Maybe that's an episode. But like, I
Yeah.
do feel, yeah. Well, I have thoughts on it. Maybe we'll do an episode on IT. I don't know.
I do have a recent IT story with our dearly
Hey.
beloved company Spectrum. So
Yeah.
maybe it is its own episode, and you and I don't have to decide an episode 15 hours before we record it like we have been.
Maybe.
I might have told this on the podcast before. I don't really remember, but when I was in college, I ordered some stuff off of eBay, and I think I maybe ordered like Roller Coaster Tycoon and some like Disney collectible things. I don't remember what they were called, but they were like 3-inch tall figures in the shape of Mickey Mouse, but they're painted as different
Hmm.
characters. So, you might get like a Buzz Lightyear, but it's in the shape of Mickey Mouse, whatever. Um,
That
but I
sounds
ordered
so
them.
weird, and I need to see pictures. I don't
Let me
remember
see
this
if
at
I
all.
can. Let me see if I can find photos of them. It's the problem is I do not remember what they were called. Um, but anyway, I ordered them from different sellers, but on the same day.
Okay.
And as a young person, I don't think I fully understood how like that system worked, but they gave the same window of time that they would ship. Um and I went to my little college mailbox room and opened up uh my mailbox. I got Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Woo.
Um But I'm like, what about these little Mickey Mouse figurine things that I'm desperately trying to find an image of as I tell this story? um, uh, but I'm like, it's weird. It's not the full window hasn't totally elapsed yet, but I bought them at the same time. I would assume that they'd ship around the same
It's
time.
close, yeah.
And my mom was like, "Oh, well, why don't you just message the seller and see if oh, here we go. They're called Vinylmation, and
Okay.
I will pull up some photos here in just a second.
God
But why don't
bless
you
you.
message the seller and see like what um what they say? Um
Never a fun process, in
No,
my experience.
and I did it. And
Yeah.
the seller was like, I still have time in the shipping window. Like, has the shipping window closed? And I had to be like, no, I was just wondering the status of my
Just like,
package. But like, they were rude about it. And it like
awesome.
only really occurred to me later that like, I've seen how my mom interacts with like people working. So I probably should have known that that wasn't a great idea. Here's what some of those Vinylmation things look like. You got your Toy Story
Okay.
characters, but they're all like in the shape of
Never
Mickey
seen these
Mouse.
before. Fascinating.
They have all sorts of different sets. Some different Pixar
Undecided
ones there.
if they're horrifying or I like them, or I like them because they're horrifying.
You know,
Particularly that guy from A Bug's Life right there. That's that's a
this one,
nightmare.
Thumper, yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
fucking nightmare.
they are definitely like some are less horrifying than others. But some of these, like Honest John right here, where the snout like comes past the head, I'm not crazy about that.
No, not a fan. Do not like.
um I have, or I maybe I still have all or most of them, but there was a time where I had a real good number of those. And by a real good number, I mean like, I don't know, 20. Like, I
That's
don't
a good.
know.
That's a good
I'm sure
amount.
they've made thousands of different ones, but the problem was you buy them at a Disney store or whatever, but they are in a blind box. You don't know what you're gonna get. You might end up
Ooh.
with duplicates.
I
Um,
am or I always used to be a sucker for that.
yes,
Yeah, that's
that's
fun.
as close to like real gambling as I get. Is just purchasing something from a blind box.
Yeah.
And it's always like, well, I think I like my odds because I like 5 out of the 6 things I could get. And then you
Yeah.
get the one that you're like, oh man, I wish it wasn't this one though.
Damn.
I
They do it
that's
on
how
purpose. Like,
that's how
we're gonna
Mighty
sell.
Beans were also sold, was like you see one little Mighty Bean, but the rest are all mysteries. And you're like, well, I gotta try it and see.
There's specifically this toy I will never be able to find. I'll never remember what it was. That was just like not even popular in general, but it became very popular at our school. And the local store would have like one in stock at any one time, and all the kids would go and try to get that one. And yeah, it was just like a little pod, and inside would be a bunch of tiny figurines. And for I don't know what started it, but yeah, we wanted to collect those sons of bitches, and I
Yeah.
did. I don't know what they were. I don't know where they went. At the time, most important thing in my life.
Yeah. I mean, like I was looking all the time for those Vinylmation things, and now a little over a decade later, I'm like, I don't even know what those things are called.
I don't even know what they were.
I could never forget the name of Mighty Beans, though. I was
I mean, it's a good
obsessed with those
name.
Mighty Beans things, also.
I was unfamiliar with them, but I love the name. Mighty
Do you
Beans.
need pictures of Mighty Beans?
I feel like I've seen them before.
Well, just in case, let me
But
get you
yeah,
some Mighty Beans
if the
photos.
listeners might need a little
They
Mighty
were
Bean in their
essentially
life.
useless because they
Good.
didn't really do anything.
That's
Um,
how I like my toys.
but they were just, little oblong shapes, and then they'd
So
have
weird.
little designs on them. You can see that little pig one right there,
That's fun.
or this guy Bruiser Bean, of course. He's gonna punch
Naturally.
you.
Oh,
They were. It's like they don't do anything. You could. They had a weighted ball in the middle of them, so you could kind of like roll them a little bit and like
the
have
Weeble
them
Wobble
flip
things.
upwards. Yeah. Um, but I didn't even really use them for that. I just kind of used them as like little toys to play make believe adventures with.
That's the good shit.
Um, that's good shit. Like as a child, like that. These were the starts of my creative pursuits. was
Yeah, don't
playing around with
dampen my
these little
creativity.
kids. I know. And it's like, I know I would never use use Mighty Beans in current day. And I know that if I were to have kids, my kids wouldn't give a shit about Mighty Beans. But part of me is like, man, I wish I still had them somewhere. You
Yeah,
know? Like, I don't know what that is.
like my
I guess maybe
full
that goes back to
collection.
collecting. Yeah.
Yeah, our collecting episode, my full collection of Star Wars Episode 1 Pepsi cans, the
Yeah.
commemorative cans. I had them all. But didn't understand that, like, the idea behind collecting them would be to have them an unopened can, so I drank them all. But I had them all up in my window for a long time.
Yeah.
I do have a mail thing I
Great.
wanted to
Your
mention.
penis? Sorry.
Yup. No, something male related that I feel weirdly insecure about. Don't say my penis. When let's say I buy something, we've done an episode on returning stuff. I buy something online, or I'm needing to ship something off because I sold it or something like that. You end up in some situation where a company is going like, cool, here's the label. Print this off, put it on the box, and take it to FedEx or UPS or
Yeah.
the USPS. So it's free. I feel insane walking into any of these places and just handing them a box. It's very hard for me for whatever reason. I feel like I have to explain myself. Like, so this is prepaid. It is paid for, though. I'm not trying to take advantage of the system. I swear.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
have the
god.
same exact insecurity about
It's
this.
so
I
weird, but it's also like that's
hate
the
walking
best.
in there and
I don't
doing
want
that.
to pay
Yeah.
for it.
No. I think what we both wish is that there was just like an automated like when you have the library book drop off, like that's what I want. I
Yes.
just want to put the package into a chute and not have to think about it or talk to anybody
Honestly.
about it. Because when I've gone to do it, maybe once there was somebody who like basically was like, all right, cool. But the other times I've gone in, there's been like somebody who wants to have a conversation or like
Sure.
needs to do a lot of different things with the package before I can leave. Like,
Makes me
that's
nervous.
not what I want, man.
This makes me real nervous. They put it on
Yeah.
that scale. I'm like, God, what if it's too
Yeah.
heavy for the label they
Yeah.
created?
Right.
I have to pay the surcharge. Sir. Charge.
Sir, charge.
Surcharge. Oh, well, that was a fun little run.
Yeah. I am
I don't
hopeful
know.
that I can receive mail again. There is, aside from the phone number that they've provided for USPS, there is a link that also just tracks your package. But I'm going to see if that link gives me any more information about where my piece of furniture is so that I can have it and assemble it and put stuff inside.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would, because I mean,
And
even though like we got a lot of our furniture, there's still a good chunk of things that are just like sitting in trash bags on the floor. So it
you get
would be
that
nice.
couch behind you?
Yes, there is a couch here.
Hey. Ooh.
Um,
Different color.
it is a different color. It's a different size. There's a lot of things to talk about with this couch. This is.
Have we done an episode on furniture? We're scraping the
We
bottom of
must
the barrel
have,
here.
but
I was surprised when I was looking up because you said, oh, I got some stories about mail. I looked up. We have done an episode on packages.
Evan,
So it's a minor difference.
I have breaking news.
Oh, dear God.
I just received an Amazon notification that says this package was delivered.
Let's go.
I have not seen anyone come to the front door.
I never like when that happens. It's like, is this a
There is a
mistake?
place they could have delivered it in the back.
Okay.
Should I go see if it's there?
100%
Great.
involve the mail in this episode.
Yes, here we go. Let's find out.
Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Early in the evening, just about supper time. Over at the courthouse, they're starting to unwind. All kids on the corner trying to bring you up. Well, it brings you to a dance. Rubber-dubby-dubs. Down on the corner, out in the street. Willie and the paw-paws are playing. Bring a nickel, stamp your feet. Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo. All right, the door's opened. Oh, there's a package. Beautiful.
We did it, Joe. There it is. It's heavy as shit. So I didn't bring it any closer to the camera. But I do have it now.
It's in view. It's in view.
That was exciting. That was exciting stuff. I didn't bring my keys out there, so I couldn't check the actual mailbox. But what is strange is on there, it multiple times the words "no access" are written on that box. What are you talking about?
What?
It's as if to say, like, the other times that I accused them of not actually attempting to deliver it, they did attempt to deliver it and wrote "no access" on there.
I don't like this.
I don't like that because you just accessed. Like, I don't know what you want.
When it's that, and it's like they both accessed and didn't need you there to sign for anything or anything like that. So what was the problem at any given fucking point?
They delivered it at the part of the complex that is harder to access. The front is much easier. The back over here
front seems like the easy,
much more difficult.
Listen, my father is a listener and a FedEx driver. I'm going to get some answers. Dad, does this just mean that they gave up and couldn't find his apartment? Or they started driving down the scary burned down streets and go,
I mean, that's what I thought it was. I thought that they Scooby-Doo'd their way out of the... They were driving in their little truck. They saw some of the burned buildings, and then the truck lifted up into the air, turned around, the wheels spun, and then they took off.
Suddenly they're controlling it like the Flintstones. Their feet are tinkling on the ground.
Yeah, well, that's how scared they were. Is they were like, "We gotta go," and they start instinctively running through the bottom of the truck.
This is good. On that note, though, and we gotta wrap this up and take a quiz.
We do.
That is the last thing I wanted to mention. Is my dad is a FedEx driver. He spent, I think it was 19 years as a teacher. Retired from teaching, and it was like, let's do this. Let's. I can make more money and just drive around and see people. People are happy to see me usually. Drop some packages off. I don't hate the idea. As two people, and hey, listen, I'm not fully at the end of my rope in my current career. But sometimes shit gets so stressful.
Yeah.
That it does make me go like, would I just be 100% happier if... Because I could make more money as a delivery driver. I enjoy driving. I like getting packages. Maybe I would like the joy of giving packages. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Where does this land for you?
I'm mixed on this, and the reason I think is like I would enjoy elements of that job for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, like, hey, that package I ordered is heavy as shit. So would I enjoy delivering all the packages? Probably not.
Yeah, but you
But
get a little hand truck. You get a cart to
yeah, that's
wheel it
true.
up. It's very true.
I,
Truest thing I've said all day.
I think I would enjoy doing that in like a suburb or like a sleepy little town. I would not enjoy doing
Sure.
that in
Oh
the
God,
city.
no,
So
no. It's
I would
where
be very selective in my territory, I
where
guess.
I used to live. That road was so fucking narrow. Like two
Yeah.
cars couldn't get down it at the same time. Anytime a delivery driver had to come through, like people would have to just like back up and leave. Go, like,
No
well, I guess I'm
wonder
not
you were
going up
so
that street.
excited to, or the driver was so appreciative of you coming up to their truck
Yeah.
and being like, I'll take
Okay.
the
I
package. They're like, oh,
fucking
thank
hate that
God.
road. No, that seems like a nightmare. That is the type of thing I hate. Like anytime my car is, I'm just in a position where I'm driving and I'm the reason everyone is stopping. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but this is also just what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't like
Yeah.
that. I don't like that one bit. So I
Yeah.
don't know, something to think about. But yeah, I mean, my dad's got a chill route. I think just gotta move out of Los Angeles.
Yeah. I mean, there are many reasons to do that. But will it ever happen for me? I don't know. But something that could happen for you is listening to more
Ooh,
episodes of this podcast.
it could happen. Just dream.
If you want to check them out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, HowDoWeHuman.com, watch full video episodes of this. You can see me awkwardly carry that package inside. You can
Yeah.
see pictures of Mighty Beans and
And
Final Nations. All the wonderful things about this podcast. Not us
other
so much, but you could see Mighty Beans.
other podcast retitle option. Let us Google that for you. Just look stuff up and look at pictures together.
uh, you can also check us out on our social media. We're
Definitely.
on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at How Do We Human, or you can send us an email to howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
We got that handle.
Where we last left our trivia battle, Evan, you are in the lead, over 50 points. You're at 51,
Hey.
and I am at 48.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to get in your head.
Please don't.
I know this first question
Oh, no.
100%.
I
I do think that you know it also,
okay.
but cards on the table. I have my answer locked in. Question
All right.
number 1. Which American actress shares her name with Shakespeare's first wife? Julia Roberts, Amy Adams, Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep.
I'll say if you're 100%, I'm 99% sure I do know this. But since I'm the lesser of two evils, I'm going to say
Yeah,
Anne Hathaway.
I believe that is correct. And if it's incorrect, I'll riot. It is Anne Hathaway.
That is Anne Boleyn, correct? In 2011, China banned what plot element in movies and TV shows? Time travel, Western superheroes, alien invasions, or ghost stories? I've got a guess.
Oh, that's interesting because
I
it
don't remember
doesn't.
hearing this, but
It this is strange. I have I have a guess, but I don't. I'm between two, I guess, because I just don't remember if this ban has been lifted. Is essentially my
this
concern.
ban has been lifted.
Because I do remember there being a big obvious push in 2015 in Avengers Age of Ultron to be like, no, China, look, we have a Chinese actress in our movie.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wonder if that was to get around that ban for Western superheroes. But uh what
Who's a
came
real
out in
Western superhero?
2011?
John Wayne.
That's so true, bestie. I I'm going to stick with Western superheroes actually.
Okay.
I think that 2011 is when Captain America the First Avenger came out. And so I'm going to say that China was upset about Captain America and banned it.
I am going to say ghost stories.
That was the
Almost
other one I was thinking.
strictly on the fact that, like, in that part of the world, Korean movies, they love a ghost story. Japanese movies, they love a ghost story. I don't know that I've ever seen a Chinese ghost story.
That's a good
This
guess.
is
That
my
was the
guess.
other one I was between. And it was time travel.
The weirdest thing of all of them to ban. We don't look at the past.
I guess maybe that makes sense. Maybe they're like,
Yeah,
can't go back to Tiananmen Square, my guy.
can't go back.
um,
Can't go back there.
where did Marie Henri Bale get the pseudonym Stendhal, under which his books were published? A monastery in Italy, a town in Germany, a forest in France, or a French cathedral?
So I just found out Marie Henri Bale was a person.
Yeah.
I then just found out they published under the name Stendhal. But then there was a twist at the end where I found out it was a guy named Marie. Um, I got nothing here. But you know what I like the sound of? A forest in France.
Okay, I'm going town in Germany,
As soon as
but
I said forest in France, I'm like, it's got to be a town in Germany. It
I
sounds
don't
like a
think
very
it
German
has to
name.
be anything. All of these
This has all been a
words in this
surprise.
question were new to me. So
I'll stick with it.
you're going
Forest in
forest in
France.
France. I'm going town in Germany. It is town in Germany.
Which of Charlie Chaplin's wives later married Eric Maria Remarque and remained with him until death? Mildred Harris, Una O'Neill, Paulette Goddard, or Lita Gray?
I'm
Listen,
between two, and I don't know if it's just because they're the only two I've heard of. um,
I love a Charlie Chaplin movie. I don't know any of his many wives. So this is a guess. And that guess is Paulette Goddard.
yeah, I'm between her and Una O'Neill.
I was also, and I don't know why.
This is where I get real in the weeds in this quiz because B has already been selected. It was the correct answer on the
This has
last
caused you
question.
trouble before.
But C was also the correct answer on the first question. So
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't be too concerned about it.
Yeah.
I Paulette Goddard is the name I'm more familiar with than Una O'Neill, although I've heard of both of them. And so for that reason, I'm going to go with Paulette as well.
All right.
And that was the correct
Geniuses.
answer.
We knew that.
We knew it. We were just pretending that we didn't know it. Last question though. Separated by only 41 miles. What two US state capitals are closest to each other?
Fascinating question.
Boston and Providence. Salem and Sacramento. Montpelier and Concord. Or Atlanta and Columbia.
Oof.
That sucks. Because this feels like this is like a thing that I feel like we're supposed to know.
Yeah. I'm picking between two. And I think
I think I'm also between two. And
I'm mad at myself because I can't remember where one of these is.
I can't remember
which state.
Yeah, so the two that I'm between, I know where
Right,
in
cards
one
on the
answer
table.
I know where both capitals are, and in the other answer I don't know where either one is, but I think I have a vague idea.
I wonder if we're between the same two.
We must be. It feels like the other two are easy to rule out, but maybe I'm crazy.
It's cards on the table. All right.
Yeah, I'm
between Boston and Providence and
Yep,
Montpelier and
that's
Concord.
correct.
I have no memory of where Montpelier is. And I remembered where Concord was, and now I don't.
I don't remember where Concord is or Montpelier, but I do know where Boston and Providence are,
this all
at least
East
within
Coast.
their states, not so much their proximity to one another.
I avoided saying it because I'm like, oh, I don't. But now knowing that, we both know Salem and Sacramento are not particularly close.
They're not 41 miles away from each other.
Atlanta
They're more
and Columbia
than that.
feels like a distance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Boston, Massachusetts. I think I'm gonna go Boston, Providence.
That
just
makes
because we need answers.
We do need, yeah. Man, I really I don't know where Montpelier and Concord are, and that really bothers me.
The problem is I keep going Montpelier, Rhode Island. Wait, Providence.
Right.
Montpelier.
I'm gonna stick with you on Boston and Providence because the places that I think Montpelier and Concord are not, because I was thinking of other states that could be close, and I don't think that those states have those capitals, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I'll probably be proven wrong, but I'm sticking with you on Boston and Providence.
All right, let's go.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a big time for me, by the way.
Montpelier is Vermont. Is Concord New Hampshire, I think. It is New Hampshire. See, if I had remembered
that's crazy because I would have gotten it wrong.
I would have 100% chosen those two.
I was like, I don't think Montpelier, because the states I was thinking of that are close together were those two, and I was like, I don't think either one of those has that capital. And then to be completely proven wrong, rough stuff.
I don't know if we've ever had the exact same track of mind throughout a question. That is the 100% exact way I feel. All right. So what's that? I get one?
No, Evan, you got 3 of those questions correct.
Well, I know I got 3, but you followed me.
Yeah. So it's you are still in the lead, 54 points.
Okay.
But now I have made a big jump to 52 points.
You got a point. Oh, okay.
Yes, I got 4 out of those 5 correct.
All right. What a punk. It's a big... you've had a rough couple of weeks. So
I have.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. It's been real rough
ground.
To end some of these episodes being like, am I stupid? And granted, to know that I was so stupid I got that last question correct, when if I had known more things, I would have gotten it wrong, is also a little rough, but
I'm
that's
so
okay.
dumb that I was right. Oh, well, you just take that thought and return to sender.
Hell yeah.
Address unknown.
No access to my brain.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.